My name is Holden Hardman. I'm a videographer with a pretty scattered resume. This time, I'm taking you around my hometown of Pensacola to show you behind the scenes of some of our local businesses. These are the underappreciated individuals that keep our local economy thriving. And it does get a little weird for me sometimes.
We did it! We got one!
This week on Pensacola's Backyard Businesses. Here we are at the Video Game Trading Post, one of the only businesses in Pensacola that features retro video games pretty much exclusively. They have a couple newer console video games and systems like the PS4 or the Xbox One, but most of their inventory is old school games. But I don't know anything about their business, why retro video games of all things, and I'd love to just find out. So come join me, we'll go check them out. So I'm here with Katie and Kevin at their store, the Video Game Trading Post. And honestly, we just want to learn how you guys got started. How long you been here? How did you get started?
Our official grand opening was April 1st, last year.
2017.
Yeah, so just about a year and a half now we've been open. We had a soft opening in March, but April 1st is like the day.
Yeah, April Fool's Day.
Yeah. That was kind of a bad pick maybe, because we had a lot of people thinking it was actually a joke.
Oh.
So
okay.
We had to clarify that, but we got through it.
So basically, I guess the start of this all came out probably when I was still in college back in like 2012. My friend found somebody who was running a small store, and he's like, hey, there's this guy selling video games down the block from me. So we noticed he kept growing and growing, and then he got a store. So then I went to that store, I was like a normal customer there, and I messaged him and said, short story, can I work here? And he said, yeah, come on down, let's try you out. And we did. And then ever since then, I was working for him for probably about 5 years, and I was like,
wow.
I really love doing this. So then after that, when we were moving down to Pensacola, we're like, we still want to do this. And then we did.
You're not related to that store at all, are you? Or are you?
We don't have any like legal obligations to them, but he is our friend, and
Sure.
We're using the same name with permission, like we talked about it before we
Yeah.
opened. We wanted to do it because he does have that emotional connection of being there when he first opened as an official store and all
Yeah.
that. And if you look at our business card, we actually have both addresses on it.
Oh, cool. So why video games, I guess, of all things?
Well, I look back at like my elementary school yearbook, and at the end when you graduated, it's like, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Funny enough, it was, I want to be a video game expert.
Well.
So you and I have both been gamers since I remember playing the NES in my mom's bedroom on
Yeah.
her top loader when I was like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that, you keep going with it.
Right. And you guys are married, right?
Engaged.
Engaged.
Soon.
Sorry.
We're getting there.
What got you on board, I guess, and becoming engaged? I mean, like, I want to be a part of the video game store too. Is that a weird question?
So,
It's kind of like, I don't know if there's a line.
So I feel like when I started working at the store back in New York, I wasn't really into games as much anymore. Like I was kind of falling out. I wanted to go into nutrition and everything, so my focus was not video games. And then Katie's like, oh, look at these really cool things coming out. And then I started getting back into things.
So you got him back into
Yes.
the store, or the catalyst, I guess.
Yes.
I reawakened that urge to play video games. And
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
a bad influence.
Oh, no, I mean, I love video games too. I've come to the store a lot since you guys opened up and stuff. And
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, it's hard to keep up with video. I work like a 9 to 5, on top of doing videos and stuff. So those like little short moments I get to play. I love nostalgia, so I play a lot of old school games. And I still play, newer ones. Shadow of the Colossus. Well, I guess that's an old one, but they remastered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually bought the original one from you guys to play it like 2 weeks before the remaster came, and then so I could compare it.
And then I started gushing about how much I love Shadow of the
Yeah.
Colossus.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's
Any
right.
chance I get.
So I've asked Katie and Kevin to talk about some of the games that they hold near and dear to their hearts, or that they just enjoy a lot. And I picked one out too. So the game I picked out is The Legacy of Goku 2, which is a Dragon Ball Z game for the Game Boy Advance. And the reason I chose this game of all the games, because this was the first game I ever actually personally owned. I was like 11 or 12. I was on a road trip with my dad in Ohio, who just passed away, unfortunately, in July. And he got me a Game Boy Advance, and he got me the Legacy of Goku 2. And I played this game until my thumbs like fell off. It was the first time my thumbs ever were like sore from like playing a video game. So it's always held a very close place to my heart because of that. And I play it every single year, kind of like as a tradition. I play this one and the sequel to it. But I love it. I even did a playthrough on my channel like a year and a half ago of it. So that's mine. So what do you guys got for me?
I guess I'll start. I can't necessarily say it's my favorite all-time game, but Majora's Mask is definitely something that I always go back to. I love the Legend of Zelda series in general, but Majora's Mask was a nice change after Ocarina of Time, where it really felt fresh to the series, and it had time travel elements and all kinds of stuff that was maybe a little questionable for a small child to be playing.
Sure, probably. We get a lot of that with video games and stuff.
But you know, it's a video game, so it's for kids, right? I got a lot of enjoyment out of this, and maybe a few nightmares occasionally.
Right,
but
of course.
Definitely more positive than negative.
When you mentioned playing Legacy of Goku when you were little till your thumbs fell off, I immediately thought of Super Mario 64.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one.
At the time, it was so different. I was like 5 or 6 years old when this came out, and I remember like the last Mario that had come out was like Super Mario World. So that's just like your, traditional side scroller. And then when you're 5, 6 years old and you see this game where you can run around and it's all 3-dimensional, that's like, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
And this is still one of those games that you go back to and it still holds up.
I think my first console was like a GameCube, so I missed out on like Sega and N64 and Dreamcast and all that stuff. I was 12 when I had my first Game Boy, and that was my first, my first anything.
Right.
And so I would play with my friends, and I remember we played Super Mario 64, and we played, what was the one with Star Fox? Do a barrel roll.
Star Fox 64?
Yeah, so I remember playing that one a lot too. And maybe that's why I'm so into like retro. I have like all the old school consoles now because I missed out. When I was a kid. We're like, when you're moved out and you have your own money, you can buy your own toys. And that's exactly what I did. So we took the advice to heart.
This was also another game though, Link's Awakening. I'll never forget playing that like after hours when my mom was like, Kevin, go to sleep. And I'm like, okay. And then I had the little worm light in my Game Boy.
Yeah,
and
I had
I'd
it
just
too.
be listening to the intro theme song and just playing till like 1, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I was guilty of that, except I apparently wasn't a very smart child because I was playing in the dark in my room, Link's Awakening, with the worm light on,
The glow.
and the glow from the light, you can still see it through the blankets, even though I had the blanket over my head. So my mom opened the door and she's like, Kate, I can see the light on, right?
Wow.
And I got in trouble for that because I was up too late.
Oh, that's sad.
I was gonna actually say the same story too.
We weren't smart children.
No.
But that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you showing me around the store, letting me come back here with you guys, and that's it. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Holden.
Yeah.
Here you go, Nick.
One shot.
Got it.
What was the line? Perfect. Infinity War. You should have gone for the head. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for the finale of Pensacola's Backyard Businesses, where I take a look at DeLuna Winery, and some things don't go according to plan.
911, where is your emergency?
Sir, I'm in the middle of an interview.
Next week on Pensacola's Backyard Businesses.